Hey everyone, this is James from Brewing Books. Chapters 6, 7, and 8 in Book 1 of The Lord of the Rings are undoubtedly my favorite chapters in the Fellowship of the Ring. They introduce us to the character of Tom Bombadil, who readers and non-readers alike will surely know or have heard his name surrounded in mystery and debate. So these three chapters are the Old Forest in the House of Tom Bombadil and the Fog on the Barrow-downs. So for the benefit of those who are not yet familiar with the books, the four hobbits find themselves leaving the Shire and venturing into the Old Forest, where Tom Bombadil's timely presence rescues them from their predicament before taking them to his idyllic home in the middle of the forest. And there they recuperate for a few days. Towards the end of chapter 7, the hobbits find themselves with Bombadil as he recounts to them tales about the history of the world, when suddenly he exclaims the following. "Show me the precious ring," he said suddenly in the midst of the story, and Frodo, to his own astonishment, drew out the chain from his pocket and, unfastening the ring, handed it at once to Tom. So Bombadil looks curiously at the ring and even goes ahead to put it round his finger, where, to the surprise of the hobbits and most likely first-time readers, Tom doesn't vanish, nor is he in any way affected by the corruptive influence of the ring. On the contrary, he laughs at it and plays tricks with it by making it vanish before the hobbits' eyes. It's an innocent enough episode and a much-needed respite both for our characters and us as readers, who have just been through some dangerous adventures, hiding from black riders and avoiding being trapped by wicked trees in the forest. This chapter gives us and the story time to rest before the next stage of the adventure continues. But what I find jarring is this ring moment with Bombadil, in which everything we've learned up till now about this most evil of artifacts almost collapses under the weight of the trivial treatment it receives by this most mysterious of characters. True, Bombadil's seemingly unfazed influence by the ring is a demonstration of him being a master in and of his own realm, and is not affected by the troubles of the external world. But Tolkien has just spent the first introductory chapters, including an extensive prologue, to present his readers with the history of the ring and the devastating corruptive powers that it holds. Mighty characters from Gandalf and Saruman to Aragorn and Faramir recoil in fear at falling under the influence of the ring's temptations, or in Saruman's case, become fallen characters, all because of this one artifact. In the 30-plus page chapter The Shadow of the Past, Gandalf explains the entire history of the ring to Frodo, going into the severity of the situation and the gravity upon which the fate of the world rests, all because of the ring. So introducing a scene in which Bombadil is not only unaffected by the ring, but also making light of the matter and of such a serious situation, feels like a disruption to the whole narrative suspense concerning the ring up to that point. In a story where the ring is portrayed as a looming threat, capable of destroying all of Middle-earth, Bombadil's casual dismissal makes the ring feel less of a threat. Now, of course, we can argue that Bombadil serves a different purpose. Tolkien himself suggested that Bombadil represents a kind of natural, unaffected being outside the concerns of power and control. In this sense, he isn't meant to diminish the effect or power of the ring, but rather to offer a contrast. He shows that there are entities in Middle-earth that exist beyond the reach of Sauron's evil influence. But even so, this detour can feel jarring to readers. It disrupts the tension, and for many, the Bombadil chapters stand out as a moment where the urgency of the quest is put on hold. It's almost a breather, but it can take some of the edge off the story. And this is one of the reasons why I feel that Peter Jackson's decision to omit the entire Tom Bombadil episode from the films was the right choice. Besides not contributing anything to the main storyline and slowing down the action right at the start of the adventure, introducing the concept of Bombadil's immunity to the ring would have diminished the credibility of the plot. The entire narrative of The Lord of the Rings is built on the terrifying, corrupting power of the One Ring. It tempts everyone. Frodo, Boromir, even Gandalf and Galadriel fear to touch it. And yet Tom Bombadil just laughs at it. If someone can so easily resist or dismiss the ring, it begs the question, is the ring as powerful as we've been led to believe? Bombadil's indifference almost seems to trivialize the struggle every other character faces. Admittedly, once we proceed to the subsequent chapters and head deeper into the story, the innocence, homeliness, and the warmth of these first few chapters is no longer present, as our characters trudge through danger after danger in their quest to destroy the ring. Bombadil's presence is soon forgotten amid these ensuing adventures. So much so that we as readers are once again immersed in the characters' battles, not only to destroy the ring, but to avoid being corrupted by it. Yet this tiny episode in this one chapter sticks out like a sore thumb. And this despite, as I said before, being one of my favorite chapters in the Fellowship of the Ring. Despite all this, there's no denying that Bombadil has his fans, and I am one of them. I love his carefree attitude and the sense of whimsy he brings to the otherwise dark tale. But from a narrative perspective, this moment can feel like it diminishes the central threat of the One Ring. Now, let's face it, no artist, no filmmaker, and no author is perfect. Nor is J.R.R. Tolkien, no matter how much I try to deny that myself. However, a similar narrative issue occurs later on in the novel, specifically in The Two Towers, during the Faramir episode, in which the ranger comes to the correct conclusion that Frodo is carrying the ring. Frodo is naturally afraid of the outcome, but Faramir reassures him so. But fear no more, I would not take the stick if it lay by the highway, not where Minas Tirith falling in ruin, and I alone could save her. So using the weapon of the Dark Lord for her good and my glory. No, I do not wish for such triumphs, Frodo, son of Drogo. Clearly, Faramir is a mentally and emotionally stronger character than his brother Boromir, but this complete resistance to any temptation from the ring clashes somewhat with the whole scope of the narrative. It's not so much a problem with the central storyline as the Bombadil episode, but it helps to demonstrate why Peter Jackson made certain changes to the character of Faramir, by making him an antagonist and a threat both to the hobbits and the fate of Middle-earth. In the film, Faramir's struggles to take hold of the ring to defend his homeland introduces further tension and suspense to the story, while providing more depth and roundedness to the character himself. But anyways, back to the Bombadil business. What do you think? Does Tom Bombadil's carefree attitude and immunity to the One Ring diminish its power for you? Or do you see him as a necessary part of Tolkien's world building? Let me know in the comments down below. That's it for today. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!